What's up, everybody? Welcome to another week of the Friday Fuss. I appreciate you all for coming through. This week, I got another special guest joining us, popular YouTuber Lamont Tyson. He does a lot of, reviews for movies, TV shows, as well as a lot of, videos on health and life topics as well. And real cool to speak with as well. And he's going to be joining us. So without further ado, my brother Lamont, how you doing?
I'm good, brother.
Welcome aboard.
Hey, man, I heard this is the most fire place to be on Friday night other than my live show. So I had to get here to see if I need to put out the fire. What's going on?
Hey, I'm glad to have you, man. I'm another champ. I see you got the belts over there, so you know what I'm saying? We're going to have to make a tag team belt up in here. You know
hey, we can be the black LOD. Since they done died and gone to heaven, we can be the black LOD from your neck of the woods, the Windy City.
That's right. Hawk and Animal Reborn. That's what's up.
Damn right.
Yeah. I see we got a couple of people popped in real quick. Miss Shalina, I appreciate you. How you doing, sis? Thanks for stopping by. Hey, how you doing? I'm gonna move this up a little bigger. I don't know why I did it like that, but Whitney, what's up, sis? You always come through, as well as Nicole B. I appreciate you. Now, on Fridays I got a few things I like to talk about. We're gonna start it off. What just recently happened with the Biden and Trump, they just had the virtual debate. And we know that, of course, Trump, I love the ratings, always get more ratings. I got the highest ratings. Fake news, bad ratings, low ratings. So now we see that he got low ratings. What do you think that means? I know it probably don't mean much to the voters, maybe, but what do you think it may mean with him and how he may be feeling?
Well, you guys are talking about a man who's a narcissist, whose very existence is based on the power of pleasure he gets from people liking him. And one thing that he did in the last election was he was a shock jock. That's what he is. That's what Trump is, simple and plain. He's a marketer, a shock jock. He's faked it till he made it. And whenever he's not getting the adulation from the crowd, and the ratings just showed you, America's tired of hearing his lies. How many lies can you tell? How many plates can you spin before the shit falls on top of you and cracks and embarrasses your white ass? So the issue with him is simple as this. He didn't get the ratings because everybody knows he's going to lie. You've seen the way he behaved in the first debate. You don't want to see that again. You want to hear someone who has answers and is science-based and is trying to take the country in a direction so that we can get rid of Corona. Now, Jay Moore, you tell me, did I see it wrong, or what did you see from Trump being down in the ratings to Joe Biden?
I mean, I think it's what you saying, and also people know what this is going to be said. There's no point too. And like he say about Corona or this or that, this dude gets the best medical treatment and drugs that nobody else has access to. And so, he can play it like it's no big deal because he's going to have things that nobody else does. But all his followers are following him and they're going to die. Even Herman Cain, rest in peace. I'm not necessarily a supporter of his, but I mean, it's like a cult. And I'm watching something on HBO about a cult, and this look like it.
Talking about, I know what you're talking. You're talking about The Vow on HBO. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Definitely.
And the thing is, if you was to watch The Vow, the show that, oh boy, we're in trouble now. we in trouble now.
Man, I had to come through a little CPT time.
J-Mo, what I tell you? J-Mo, what I tell you? What I tell you, J-Mo? I told you. And CPT does not mean Chicago Park. That's not what they're telling me. But
You're
J-Mo,
I knew I was getting clowns when I came in. I was like,
Right.
oh damn! I was like, man. I was like, I'm gonna. By the time I get everything set up, I'm gonna be a little late. I'm about to get clowned.
look, man, and you got a real comedian up here now. You ought to, boy. You better tread lightly today. You better tread lightly.
So you guys are talking about the smoke,
I know you got 2 watches, and neither one of them working.
I know, man. I know.
I'm on sundial. It been stopped working. The other one, the sundial.
Hey, Larry.
You know what it is? It's this Apple Watch. You have to charge this thing like every 12 minutes because otherwise it just dies on you. And then this other one, some little budget joint I'm reviewing. So, you know.
Hey, man, they say a dead
that's
clock is right twice.
That's all I mean.
Right.
Okay.
For those that are watching, this was our other guest. I had 2 guests joining today, and this is Larry from Today I Feel Like YouTube channel, and he does a lot of product reviews as well. And Larry, I'll let you give an introduction for those that didn't see you.
Yeah. My channel, I do mostly tech reviews and stuff. I talk about products and services. I review stuff like watches and, you know, and phones and cameras and whatever else. I do some cord cutting stuff on there as well, telling people how to get free TV and movies and stuff. I do all my stuff legal. So I get people asking me how to get bootleg this and that. I don't do the whole bootleg thing. So you're going to have to visit your local barbershop and hit the DVD man for that. But I just do all
climb on the pole, hook up that cable.
You know, man, don't do none of that. No splicing stuff, none of that. Right. So, but you know, there's a lot of good stuff out there you can get for free if you just know where to look and what apps to get. So I do all legal stuff and show you how to get everything that you would normally get with a cable package, but for free. It's just a little bit more work when you're doing it that way. So,
and for all the Jay Moore fans that love Power, I must tell y'all, if y'all remember Ramona from season 6, her number 1 fan. I don't know if y'all ever remember that song Usher did about his superstar fan. Ramona's superstar fan is this guy sitting next to me named Larry. He loved him some damn. He loves some big forehead Ramona. He want to go slip and slide down her forehead. He loved that woman.
Well, Ramona got a lot of fans over here too. So,
see, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. See, J-Mo's down with me with Ramona and with Killmonger. We're about to take over the planet and get the finest women. I'm telling you.
Hey, man, ain't nothing wrong with Ramona now. It make a Mona if you let me now.
You know?
Hey, look, we started on my channel. We started calling her Ramona Put-It-On-You. That's what we call her on my channel. Specifically for Larry. That's what we came up with.
Lamont's just mad because Professor Megram's getting her back banged out by Zeke. And then, you know, by the end of this season, Tariq's gonna have gotten at that too. He's just mad because his Professor Megram is an open door.
Man, stop it. What in the hell, man? What?
She has an open door policy, as most professors do. It's just her door is a little bit more open than others.
What?
I don't know if he ready to go behind that green door yet, man. Tariq ain't ready for that.
See how y'all dirty? Y'all dirty. First, Larry acting like she's a politician talking about she got an open door policy. And then J Mo want to talk about her stuff turning green because everybody, man. I'm done.
Turning green now.
You said she was turning green. You said she was turning green because everybody done got to turn in there. So I mean, look, man, y'all not gonna make me give up on Professor Megram. She is a highly educated Black woman, and the only thing you gotta do is keep her away from lock and key. As long as you lock the key, the panties don't get wet. Simple as that.
I see in the comment section, T said dropped the super chat and said 3 men for the price of 1. I'm telling you, we're gonna have a new show called 3 Men and a Professor Megram.
Oh,
you know,
we need to do 3 men. We start doing that and bring T up in here. I appreciate you, Ty, for that super chat as well. And I see a lot of you all, Joyce and Whitney, everybody, I appreciate you all for the comments. And one of the other things I wanted to talk about, we was just talking about Trumpty Dumpty and how you had the ratings. But you know, we can move on for that. Everybody is tired of him. But what about
there's no
the
Trump
U.S.
cult, there's no Trump cult members in here, are there?
I hope not. They ain't gonna say nothing.
Don't look like it. Don't look like it.
Right. No, we don't roll like that. But what I was gonna say is about the U.S. deficit. Now it's saying that it hit an all-time high of over 3 trillion. Now, how is this now? If you do it in terms of percentage, now it said that it's 15% right here. And the last time that it was to that point was in World War II. So we could possibly bounce back, but does it look like it may be possible? And should they have, they're saying in this article that they should have spent more when we was going through that second stimulus, but that would have put more money in the deficit as well. Would that have helped? What are jobs? Are jobs going to come back? What are y'all thoughts on that?
Larry, I'm going to give the first part to you about the deficit. We've talked about it before, but I'll give that one to you and let me come back with the job part.
Right.
Sure.
Because a lot of people is upset they didn't get unemployment extended as well.
Right, right.
You know, part of my thing is I think with the deficit, part of the whole problem I think with our economy is I know they keep saying the rich are getting richer, which they are, but part of the problem is too is that you have so much wealth that's just concentrated. It's not even that it's spread around with like a whole wealthy class. I mean, we're talking about a small group of men and women that have an enormous concentration of global wealth, and it's just sitting there not really doing anything. You know, they're talking about the stock market right now is driven by retail investors out there that just have nothing to do with every little bit of money they have, because you let it sit in the bank, it's not earning anything. I mean, the interest rates are so low, you don't earn anything if it's sitting in the bank. In fact, you end up losing money because the rate of inflation is lower than, you know, or is higher than the rate of return sitting in a savings account. So, you know, so you have the market that's driven by retail investors, all this concentration of wealth on the top that's not doing anything. And I think if people look back at history when we've had financial troubles in the past, like for instance, when the company that I'd say the country, it's kind of like a company now, like a Trump company failing. But if you look at back then, like when they had all the robber barons and all these dudes met up, all the masters of the universe met up over at Jekyll Island, they all decided they were gonna use their wealth for the betterment of the country, and we haven't seen that. We're just not seeing that right now. We need, I mean, I know it sounds terrible to say we need the wealthy people to come and save us, but in some sense, we need them to actually use their wealth for the betterment of this country. And if they're not, the government needs to tax the holy shit out of them. Excuse my French, needs to tax the holy crap out of them to pull some of that wealth back into where the people are and
reinvest, right? Because that trickle down economics is proven it doesn't work.
No,
right. Trickle down does not work.
Right.
No. And so,
what do you think about this comment right here?
The new stimulus package, they're going to have to add more money. They're going to have to give more money to the average everyday person. Otherwise, you're going to start to see, eventually you'll see what you see in a lot of other countries where you just start to see actual, you know, civil unrest, because eventually people will just say, well, if I can't afford it and I don't have any prospects of being able to afford it, I'll just take it. And if I can't have that, and there's never any prospect of me having that, then I'll just burn your crap down so you can't have it either. So eventually they're going to have to make, and that's part of the reason why America has been successful on some level. They have made it so even the average and below average income person feels like they have a path forward and feel like they can have stuff. So you may go into a person's home in the hood that doesn't really make any money, but they have a big screen TV, so they can feel like they have a little something. And
that's funny because they actually
don't forget the Air Jordan.
Yeah. Right. But if you get to a point where people don't feel like they have anything and they don't feel like they even have a pathway to have anything, they'll just start taking stuff, or they'll start destroying other people's stuff. So
right,
you know,
so they get to the point of
Lamont, what you think about that?
I think people need to understand what does it really mean to be in a deficit. How does a deficit help or hinder your way of life? You're here, pundits get up here and say that when you have an increase in the deficit, it just puts America back. It makes us put spending on the backs of our children, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Okay. Every time you hear a Republican get on his high horse about a deficit, usually what have they done? They've done a tax system where they pass a tax law that helps the very people who have the money to pay down the deficit keep their money. Like one came out today. There is this loophole for private jets. Now, I told y'all I watch CNBC all day because I'm trading stocks and options all the time. There is a loophole where people who can afford a private jet and ride on a private jet would normally pay a 7% tax when they get on that private jet. That's supposed to expire with the PPP. First and foremost, if you're really serious about our deficit, that should have never been in there in the first place. If anybody can afford taxes that are reinvested for the greater good of this whole nation, it's anybody who can afford to get on a private jet. Well, they found a loophole so they can extend that through something called a badge over the next 5 years, which is going to be somewhere close to $1 billion a year in revenue that could be spent to not only get rid of the deficit, but also invest in those people who are middle class and poor that are trying to get to the next level in business. If we were to ever get this quote unquote deficit balance, which we're not anytime soon, it is supposed to equal reduced bills in colleges. It's supposed to equal reduced inflation. It equals a lot of things that people have a hard time breaking down as to how does it put money in my pocket. And the reason why it's hard to do that is because Jay Moore mentioned it, trickle down economics. What this country does is it rewards those at the top in several ways with taxes. And when there are financial opportunities with low interest rates, you've got to damn near be, I'm not going to say rich, but you've got to damn near have 750 plus credit, a history of being in business, and all kinds of other stuff that the average Joe Blow doesn't have in order to get access to that capital. And that's the problem I see going on, and the problem they're claiming would help with the deficit. But before we can even talk about the damn deficit, we've got to talk about creating the jobs, getting the next PPP cycle going so that people can continue to believe that they do have a chance to live the American dream, which right now is just simply being able to put food on the table with your family and be coronavirus free. That's where it's at right now.
Right. And you know, one of the things that Lamont was talking about with wealthy people wanting their tax cuts all the time, part of that is that what most people probably don't realize is that for rich people and for everyone else, there's two different worlds, and taxes are the largest single expenditure for wealthy people. For everybody else, for almost everybody else, it's their housing. So if you are making probably less than a couple $1 million, for almost everybody else, your housing is your largest single expenditure. You're paying, you know, maybe $2,000, $2,500, $3,500, $1,500, whatever you're paying a month towards a mortgage or rent. Your taxes, you may pay throughout the course of the year, you may pay, you know, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000, $12,000, $30,000, $40,000 in taxes. But for someone who's making several $1 million a year, or someone who's making, you know, $1 billion a year, you're talking about people who are now paying, you know, hundreds of thousands or millions, or what could be hundreds of millions if you're someone like Jeff Bezos or something with, you know, with Amazon, where you're earning billions of dollars. So for them,
but they didn't pay any tax. Remember, they got the lawyers and accountants, so they didn't pay any tax, making all that money.
Right. Some of them don't. And some people, what they're doing is because they know they can't avoid all their personal income tax. A lot of them bury and hide a lot of their money within corporations. Right. And so what we need to do is get rid of some of these corporate tax breaks so that corporations are taxed, because there's no way in the world you should have a company like Google or GE or any of these other major billion-dollar global Fortune 500 companies not paying any taxes. That is absolute lunacy.
And really, and in all honesty, because I've owned 3 or 4 different businesses that made 6 figures, if you really are trying to get people to jump class from poor, middle class to the next class, you should have some kind of segregated tax break when you first start a business until that business reaches 6 figures in revenue, where you don't pay any tax. Me and my wife owned a child care center. We owned the building. We did the daycare in one LLC, and we did the property in another LLC. And people would not believe how many taxes you're going to get smacked in the face with. You got FICA, you've got the property tax, you got a license tax, you got your standard income tax you have to pay. And then not only as an employer, you have to match the FICA and all that stuff that you're paying on behalf of your employees when you haven't even made money. You're living off of loans you had to get, which eventually comes out of your pocket. So this country is serious about helping people get to the next level.
But that's also part of the problem is over-regulation and over-taxing, which doesn't, you know, incentivize investing and incentivize people to want to create business, because you got to pay all this money. Like they say, take money to make money, but sometimes it takes so much that it disincentivizes somebody from even wanting to do it. Or like some of these rich people will say, well, I got to go through all these regulations or go through all these loops and hurdles. It take 2-3 years to get this built. They decide to either go and spend their money and invest other places. For example, like Akon, the rapper. Now, he's making a lot of investments and things in Africa. I don't know if you all are familiar with it. Have you heard about that?
Yeah,
he's
like trying to build a power grid out there.
Yeah, he's trying to start a Wakanda.
The new city. Yeah, so for you guys watching that are not familiar, he's able to start a city brand new. So they're like solar powered. They're going to all use like electronic, you know, funds with phones. Like, you know, but he's able to do it in like a year or two, which would take probably never here with the regulations. And then he, of course, black and other things. But and like California, everybody loves California, and it's great to network and work with people, but they are overtaxing everybody so much that a lot of people are leaving California, because if you're making a few $1 million, you're going to be spending a couple $100,000 in taxes, and you feel like, what am I getting for my money? You know, the police will look like the army, which is a problem because they are well funded. When people say, you know, defund the police, that's what it really means, is not have them militarized. You know, everybody still need police because nobody wants to live like the Wild West. You know, even gun people, like I got guns, but I don't want to have to defend myself like the Wild West. You know, that's crazy.
Nobody want to go walk 10 paces, turn around and shoot.
Right. But it's another thing. Hold on, let me say this one thing, Larry, and I'm gonna get to you. It's another thing, though, it's a problem, is it's 2 sets of laws. We know when the police, how they say you resist an arrest, and that's why you get shot 7 times or a knee to the neck. We know that. But when we see others say no or resist, they have conversations and talk about it and stuff, you know. And then when they get stabbed or hurt, they say, well, it's a dangerous job. That's why we got to defend ourselves. But then they use that on the people that don't have weapons, unarmed, and said they don't, you know. So Larry, go on and say what you was about to say, and then I'm going to show you guys a video, and then we talk about that video.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, as far as the thing with Akon, the thing that's interesting about, you know, about what Akon's doing in Africa with, you know, building up this power grid, and I forgot what country he's in that he's doing that. But one of the problems with building infrastructure in third world nations is that oftentimes, in order to get the funds, you have these corrupt politicians or dictators that need the funds, and so they end up having to go to the World Bank or to the IMF. And part of the and the strings they attach on there, they'll say, okay, we're going to give you the money to build you know, a power grid in your country, but it's going to have to be built by GE, or it's going to have to be built by some French company or something.
It's China.
And not only do you have to contract with this country to this company to build your grid out and all of your power stations and everything, but you also have to contract with them for the next 50 to 100 years to do all the maintenance on this power grid. So now you have this this small country who couldn't really barely afford anything, that took out all these loans to get this power grid, and now they're locked into this onerous contract with this European or American company to go and maintain their grid, and they do it at astronomical rates so that the people can never get up from underneath these loans. And so what happens is they have to borrow more money from the IMF or the World Bank so that they can pay to have that power grid, maintained. And what happens is basically you end up where people are upset. You have dictators that are sucking in all kinds of money from the like they may get $50 billion from the IMF, and all of a sudden there's an administrative fee of like 12% or something that comes right off there, and that's going right into the pockets of the dictator and his corrupt politicians that work with him. And so you end up with these countries that never get out from under anything, and it becomes so expensive for them to have even just basic stuff like power. They can't even have power 24 hours a day. They have brownouts for 3 or 4 hours a day, or they have rolling brownouts where certain sections of the city are down every day.
Can they do that with solar power?
With solar power, it's different. I think if they did that with solar power and they had the ability to have the power stored, I think that would be different. But that's part of the problem. Most of these companies don't want that type of technology there because it cuts them out of the process.
Yep. Like I got solar,
their revenue stream.
I got solar on my crib, Jay Moore, and this is a state that's not friendly. This state ain't friendly to people who have solar. And let me tell you how
do you have a Republican governor?
No, but when solar was introduced to this state, it was Republican.
Okay. See, that's what happened with me. They at first it was friendly and the Republican governor, and then they started, because then they made us have to give them the energy back to the people. They started regulating it. So yeah, they don't want it.
So yeah, that's what I was going to say. Any excess I have left over, they take from me at wholesale and then turn around and sell it to everybody else who's on Duke Energy at retail.
Yeah.
It's like, and they're telling me that I'm not allowed to put up a box and save my own energy. I have to give it to them. And then any excess that I get above what pays my bills, I can just keep it for a credit on my next bill, but they still taking my energy and paying me 7 cents. And then they turn around and sell it to somebody else at 13 cents. That's just
right. And the real reason why is basically corruption, because the powers that be, the oil and gas barons that got billions, they keep paying these politicians with lobbyists, this, that, and the other, to make these bills to keep humanity down. Because we are polluting the earth. We could have stopped. I know you guys, I don't know if you heard, it's a guy that made a car that runs off of water, and it just has like paper or something. They like bought the patent and then like buried it, GM or somebody. Like
but they killed him. They threw his ass on the side of the road in Phoenix, somewhere like that. Yeah, I remember that.
For money, corruption, and it's really killing humanity. If humanity wasn't kept down, think about all the inventions and things that people have come up with. Like, that's just one that we know of. Like, how many things have been kept down because of, corruption, from energy to vehicles to water, food, all kind of things. And we need to find a way like to get big money out of politics and things. I think you were speaking on that once before, I think, Larry, about big money in politics.
I did want to mention something to you about, you were talking about defunding the police and all of the militarization of the police, not just in LA, but not just in California, but everywhere. And part of that is people look at it and they wonder, why does my small town have this big old tank? Why does my small town have gear that looks like it should belong in Iraq or Afghanistan? And that's because most of it came from surplus that came back from Afghanistan and Iraq. And what happens is these the military buys all this equipment, And then the companies will say, well, we're only going to have a lifespan of 5 years or 7 years, and then we're no longer going to support it. Well, the military knows this stuff is still good, and given the opportunity, they would probably continue to use it until it didn't work anymore. But because of the military industrial complex, they say, well, we need to keep selling stuff so we can keep making money. So they just have an end of life cycle.
It's like a jobs program. They just keep making stuff because they keep getting paid to make stuff.
Right. So the government will say, okay, well, we're going to get rid of this stuff. So they'll either give it away to local police departments under a grant program, and then or they'll sell it to them at a very reduced rate under a grant program. And then those same companies that said these products are these vehicles or equipment is no longer supported because it's at the end of their life, it's at the end of life cycle, will then turn around and support the maintenance and upgrade of that equipment for police departments, because they'll say, well, it's for a different use and there's different standards when it's being used for a police department versus the military. So we're going to go ahead and support it for another however many years. And that way they can pull money from those departments who now have to pay, whereas if I got a flat tire on my car, I can take it to the Goodyear and pay $150 and get a new tire, where now they have to call the company and go pay $5,000 to get a tire. So it's a big money game controlled by the military industrial complex. And that's why there's such pushback on this idea of defund the police. They could have picked better wording for it. But
right. Demilitarize the police is what they should have said.
Know what that means. They know what that means. They mean it's taking money out of their pocket, because when you start talking about defunding the police, people are not really saying let's take money away from the police. What they're saying is let's move the money around so that policing is more effective. And when you no longer have maintenance contracts for SWAT vehicles that are in some small town that have never been used, or no longer have the maintenance or the need to buy ammunition so that officers can train with military grade weapons that are never used, then all that money is just gone. It's going to someone else. It's going to mental health treatment. It's going to substance abuse treatment. It's going to child care. It's going to Parks and Rec. It's going to all these other places that are not a part of the military industrial complex.
Right. So, let me address this couple of comments. Let me address a couple comments. I see Aiden said broke don't want the rich to stay rich. We get it. That's not true. Now, I don't know. I like to make money and I'd like to be rich. I'm not hating on rich. I actually think that that's a problem, to make it de-incentivize people to want to make money and want to innovate and want to create a YouTube or whatever the case. Like these people that even created this platform wanted to make money. You know what I mean? And look what it brought us. So like, I think that's a good thing. I never hate on the rich, and I like nice things. I don't have that many, but I like to. So, it's not that. It's just when you have too much money and you don't do anything with, like Jeff Bezos, 120 billion. Like he could spend 20 billion and change the world. You know what I mean? And it wouldn't make a difference. Like, what would he say? Man, I did want to buy something, but I only got 100 billion left, man. I can't. I don't even know what you could say. Like, what could he not buy on earth?
Nothing. And the issue, Jay Moore, is not that people hate on the rich. The issue is that people don't like the process for which you have to go through to get to that point. That's what the issue is. People want the process to get to that class to be fair. They want everything to be fair. It'd be different if it was a level playing field, but every which way you look, it's not a level playing field for somebody to go from poor to rich. From the top, once you start making money, if you're rich, all you got to do is put your money in stocks properly, and you're going to keep right on making money. And that's not even taxed the same way other things are taxed. So you can live off that. What people are fighting for is the process so that they can get there too. And in order to do that, these things in the deficit that need to be paid have to be paid. And the place that you have to get that from is the folks who have the majority of the money. 5% of America's population controls over 70% of the wealth in the country. And that's the place where the money is at. You've got to get that money somehow or another to go back to the rest of the people so that they can do the same thing they did to try to get into that class.
And I'll say this: it's that the idea that people like to say this, like the poor just don't want the rich to be rich. Here's the thing: is that rich people are good at one thing that I've always seen. They know how to make money, and they will make more of it. If you tax a rich person at 70% over a certain amount, and they say, "Oh, well, geez, last year I made $10 million, but now, you know, I brought home $10 million, but now I'm getting taxed 70% over," you know what they're going to do? They're going to go out there and find a way to make even more money so that they're still bringing home $10 million every year, because rich people are good at making money. That's what they do. Doctors are good at helping sick people. You know, trash men are good at picking up the trash. Fishermen are good at feeding people. Farmers are good at growing stuff. Rich people are good at making money. So if you tax them more, they're not going to be poor. They're not going to just stop making money. They're just going to figure out a way to make more money. And anybody who's visited a country that has, if you visited some of these European countries that we all like to just like, you know, scare off as the boogeyman, ooh, they're socialists. Look at Sweden, look at, you know, look at Switzerland, look at whatever. If you look at some of these countries where there's more socialism, ooh, I said the bad word, and you see the average income in there, when you see the standard of living, how much higher it is, you don't see that those countries have less millionaires and billionaires. What you see is that everybody's doing better. Everybody's doing.
China got a lot of millionaires.
Fair distribution of wealth. Everyone does better.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Like Jay said, China's got a lot of rich people. Europe has a lot of rich people, to follow Larry's point. And one thing that this country does, and they're going to always do, is tax you. They want to get taxes from everybody born. But if you want to maximize those taxes, the best way to do that is to find a way to help everybody make more money. And in order to do that, this wealth gap has got to be shrunk. And the only way you can do that right now, based on our tax system, because it's a progressive tax system, is you have to tax the part of the tax system that's at the most aggressive level. And then you put that around so that other people can use those proceeds to invest and do better in the country.
Right. And this is not a zero-sum game. No. I mean, if you make $1 million and buy a Ferrari next year, and I make $1 million and buy a Ferrari next year, my Ferrari is not going to be any less enjoyable because you own one also. I mean, it just isn't. That's not the way this works. When I buy an iPhone, I'm enjoying my iPhone or my Apple Watch just as much as the next man. It doesn't take anything away from it because everybody's making more money. That's just not the way the world works.
It's not supposed to work like that. But you do have these people with these elite attitudes, like Donald Trump, that want to have the law and they want to have exclusive shit for rich, and tell the poor man that they can't do that. Examples, going to these little sex cults with Jeffrey Epstein and that island. They want to do that, but they don't want us to do it. And if we get caught,
they make them feel special and better than us, you know.
Exactly.
So here's another thing.
Hold on, before we go further, because I know we could talk about this a while. Let me show this video that I was going to show a second ago.
Okay.
And we talk about this cop and the double treatment that goes on. So this video is on Instagram, and it's a video of this cop. He was chasing down a perpetrator, and then when he catch up with him, they just have a conversation, which this never happens when they chasing down one of us. So let's see what happens. And first, I want to point out a few things. Now, I ain't been a cop, but I've been in fights, and I always notice how a person stand in their posture, which automatically, as soon as I see him stand, I know something is wrong, but we'll see what goes on. Let's take a look and play this.
Why are you running, dude? 2031. Come on.
I'm gonna make it full screen, a little bigger.
Are you scared? Yeah.
Oh, I could do it this way. Hold on.
Hey.
Uh-oh.
No, he's still there.
He's still there?
Yeah, he's still there. Believe me, he gets it in with this technology. I think he's still there.
Now,
I didn't even know
still not in trouble.
this
But
damn
obviously I can't
thing.
trust you not to
Hold
run
on.
anywhere. So, come on.
I didn't even realize it stopped.
We're going to put you in handcuffs for now.
So
Okay.
here we go. There.
Nice side trial. I'm here with
You
you.
see how he's standing?
I do.
Turn.
We're going to walk back. Okay? Okay? Now, the thing of it is, you're still not in trouble. But obviously, I can't trust you not to run anywhere. All right? So, come on. Come on. Why are you running, dude? 2031. Come on.
See how he's standing? You automatically know something ain't right. He got something in his left hand.
I'm not seeing it. It says click the.
No.
I'm not seeing the image on the screen anymore.
Ah, okay. Hold on.
Hey, look. Running's not going to help.
I'm sitting there, thought it was
One,
playing. Hold
I run a
on.
lot.
I can hear it. I just can't see it.
All right, let me see if that's.
Yeah. And the cop saying he run a lot, so I'm assuming his ass must be in great shape.
Right. And what cop gonna sit there and talk to you? Oh, you want to run? Hey, I run a lot. Man, they're not talking to you. They putting the knee to your neck. Oh, you thought you get away. Then you talk some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You ain't think I paid attention to that because that was a nigger.
Right.
And
he ain't talking about, he gonna talk about how he run with that knee in your neck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Come
Is
on,
it playing
man.
now? Can you see it now?
Yeah, we
I
can see it.
All right.
You're still not in trouble. But obviously, I can't trust you not to run anywhere. All right? So,
I
come
can't
on.
believe he's still talking to
You're
him.
not in trouble, but I can't trust you.
Okay?
You just chased him down. He just tried to stab him with a knife. Now he got his gun out.
He's got a knife.
How many times would you have been shot by now?
Yeah.
Man, I would have had a hole in my leg, my foot, my head, probably my penis too.
Man,
Bro,
Swiss cheese, he still ain't shot him. Now he still ain't shot him. He's still talking about stop. Now look, he
Yeah, I
had
don't
to
know why he
put
didn't light him
that
up.
gun up and pull the taser out. They
I
never
don't
do
know why
that
he
for
didn't light
us.
him up. The dude tried to stab him.
and
Right.
plus, I thought the cop said he was in such good shape he could run him down.
Put it down.
See right there, he would have been lit. He would have been Swiss cheesed up.
Swiss
Man.
cheese up. Not only did he have a knife, he used it on him and ran again for the second time.
See, ladies
He
and
would have been dead
gentlemen,
right there.
this right here is the pure hypocrisy that the African Americans be saying. That's why y'all see me wearing this shirt that say I can't breathe, because this is some bull jive.
Show you 33.
He ain't putting the knee to his neck.
He would have. Yeah, that
Listen
person was
to
black or Hispanic. They would have been killed him.
You okay? I don't know. What happened?
And here we got a little chubby officer, and you know how they love to just fall on people and shit, especially if they black. The fact was just like, they just like to fall on black people for some reason. Man.
Yeah. So
33. I got.
that was just pathetic. So what do y'all take on that? With the hypocrisy?
Let me say a couple of things. One,
Golly.
I'll be beyond that. I mean, since we were talking about the crime thing,
Yeah.
and when we talk about crime and economics, if you have everybody doing better, if you have a higher standard of living overall, you're going to have less crime because you're going to have people with more to lose. Like with me, I'm not going out into the streets and doing it. If a cop pulls me over, I'm not running. I'm thinking to myself, I'm just going to have to pay an attorney later and fight whatever they try and put on me. I'm not running. I have stuff to lose. If you give people stuff to lose, then they're not gonna take the risk. Now, if the only thing they have to lose is their life, and they don't really value their life because The system doesn't value their life. They don't really have anything meaningful in their life. They're not educated. They don't have a family. They don't own a home. They don't have any real responsibilities. The only responsibilities they may have is a kid, and that kid is being paid for with government assistance or something else. They don't really care. They don't have anything else to lose. So, but if you rise all boats so everybody has something to lose, you see less crime. You're not gonna see a dude stab a cop and run. Now, I mean, that was a white dude, and he may have been just crazy, so he may have done it anyways, but you're going to see far less of that than you will elsewhere, you know? And on top of that, if cops are, I mean, this is a multi-pronged issue there, but with cops, one, if you pay cops more and there's less crime overall, you'll get a better caliber of men and women that want to be law enforcement officers. You won't have a bunch of these white supremacist dummies that are barely educated and have their minds easily manipulated joining the police departments. Those people will be to their stones and right back under them.
And we ask police to do too many jobs, which is why it should be the demilitarized police, like you say, move it around. They shouldn't be social workers and all this stuff going out to these calls.
Exactly. You know? How do you expect a dude? How do you expect some dummy that barely graduated high school, that was bullied and has no real sympathy or compassion or empathy for other human beings? How do you expect them to be a social worker? I mean, this dude wasn't taught how to be a social worker. This dude was taught how to fight, how to shoot his gun straight, and maybe some rudimentary, you know, constitutional law, and that's it. This dude doesn't know how to go into a situation with somebody who just got into a fight with his wife after he lost his job and found out his kid OD'd on heroin, and now he's up in his house with a gun. You know, he's up in his house where he doesn't have a gun, but maybe there is a gun, and you're trying to talk him out of the house so you don't have to kill him. That dude's not equipped for that.
Well, here's the problem. Here, I agree with that, Larry, but here's the problem. We see that these same damn cops can become social workers when you're dealing with little buddy we just seen in the video. He was talking to him saying, I can run, don't you run, and all that. It's a problem when it's a black person or a person of color that all of a sudden their social working skills and shit go out the window. They don't know how to do that then. The only thing they know how to do then is shoot when they see the big black intimidating female or man, then they don't got no social working skills. So at the end of the day, along with I'm going to call it a constructive defunding of the police, which is not what people think. It means constructively moving the money to where it's going to be better used to help the community. We also have to use people in power and people who are the heads and captains of these police forces. When you see the behavior that they're treating to blacks, you can't tolerate it. And we've got to bust up that damn police union and get rid of this behavior so that we can change what's going on to black folks and minorities all around America. You got to bust up that union.
I totally agree. And I think that, and I advocated, I have, you know, my dad was a cop for 33 years. One of my good friends back home is a cop. One of my other good friends, his little brother's a cop. I've had law enforcement in my family for a long time. My mom is a former prosecutor. One of my good friends, one of my best friends is a former prosecutor. I mean, a good portion of the people that I dealt with back home are law enforcement. And I've advocated for this for a long time, is that law enforcement officers, police officers, sheriffs, all of them should have to go through the hiring process again every 5 years. And when you think about that, that's not a lot, because over a course of a 20-year career, that means you only have to go through that process 4 times. And the reason why that's important is because you have people that join law enforcement and they start to click up. And we've seen this problem in the LAPD. We've seen it in LA County Sheriff, where they have gangs within the departments. These divisions, these precincts start gangs within there, and you need to be able to weed these people out. And so if you have to go through a background check again, where you have someone that goes through their arrest records, you go through their complaints, you actually talk to the people in their lives like you did in the pre-hire, you know, in the hiring phase. Now, I'm not saying they need to go back to the academy. I'm not saying that, but
they should have to redo a physical though, because some
should do a physical, yeah, because there's a bunch of them out there that are drug addicts and alcoholics. You have people out there that are not physically fit anymore, and they would rather shoot someone than chase them.
Exactly.
You know, and so There is some of that. They should have to go through a physical fitness test. I'm not saying they have to go through a whole academy, because that would be extraordinarily expensive and burdensome for the departments. But they should have to go through background checks again, because there are a lot of people out there. And this is the thing: when you have soldiers that go out there and they deal with the worst element of society for 10 months, 12 months, whatever, and they're out there deployed, they come back and they are messed up mentally for the rest of their lives. Now you have police officers that go out there and they're dealing with
a lot of them become cops too, which is sad.
Right. Yeah. Right. But when you have police officers that go out there and they deal with people, I'm not going to call everybody the lowest common denominator of society, but when you have officers that deal with those people, and day in and day out, they're dealing with people who are at their lowest point. Whether they are a great or a good person, they are at their lowest point often when they have to deal with police officers because someone hurt them, or they hurt someone, or they had something stolen, or their kid got hurt or killed, anything. You're dealing with people at their lowest point, and that takes a toll on those officers. And you cannot expect that officers deal with that day in and day out for years, for decades for some of them, and it does not affect the way that they do their job. So there needs to be psychological testing over the period of every couple of years to make sure that these officers are still fit to do their job, because not everybody handles those psychological stresses in the same way. Some people can handle it, others can't.
Right, especially for maybe like an officer that's not from that community. So his only interaction with that community is police interaction, which, like you say, is going to be at their worst. Nobody calls the police for a barbecue. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So he's going to see, every time he see that population, as their potential problem starter, because that's his only interaction with them. He don't have friends that live there. And so that's why it becomes even worse, because they quick to do things because they say, well, that's all, every time I'm around them, there's always this, always that. Well, that's your job. It's like a fireman spraying water on everybody's house because every time he in that neighborhood, it's a fire. Well, that's your area.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
You don't sit here and call the fire department because it's ice on your house. You know, like, come on, man.
Right. And people like the fire department because they're about saving lives, not taking lives. You don't hear people making songs called F the fire department. You know?
No.
I mean, that's just what it is. They show up when the fire department shows up at your house, you have a sense of relief. You have a sense of the good guys are here to help. When the police show up, you have no idea what's going to happen. As a black person, I'm not calling the police if I don't absolutely have to, you know, because I just don't know what's going to happen. When I don't know if the police are going to come to my house and hurt me when I'm the one that called.
Right.
You know?
Right.
The only alphabet boys that black people tend to like is the EMTs. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
You know?
Saving a life.
That's a whole other conversation if we start talking about racial and inequality in our healthcare system.
Jay Moore, what you got for us last? At 9, we're gonna jump on my live stream today. So what you got for us to round up? And I got a question for you, Jay Moore. I got a question for you. When are you and Mark Dark gonna hook up for another live stream?
I don't know. I mean, he a busy guy. I gotta see if he available. I gotta reach out to him. You know, we have to make something happen, man. We have to build our own little community. I'm trying to build a little network of YouTubers. We're gonna have to get Ty in here. You know, Mark. We have 4 men and a little lady. You know what I'm saying? Instead of 3 men and a baby, we got 4 men and a lady.
Hey, well, we've had several female YouTubers come through and show us love, and we've got one coming Wednesday. So as you build, we build, and we can build together. That's the best way we can all overcome the shit that YouTube throws at us, because YouTube does throw stuff at its black content creators. We don't complain about it much, but they do put us in a box, and we're trying to bust that box.
Right. Yeah. We need to like unionize, and they have been talking about YouTubers unionizing on like TubeBuddy and things. I don't know if y'all look at that, but some of that things. So as long as we start working together and unite, that's the start. But before y'all go, I got something to end on a lighter note. Okay, it was a doctor.
Oh my God.
This man was giving him a prostate exam and made him feel a little too good. So he shot him.
He what?
He came back and shot the doctor after
Man,
that.
Wait a minute. Wait. I got several questions about this. Larry, we're not going over.
We're gonna start off with you. What you gonna say, Lamont? Tell us what's the start of this.
This is what I'm trying. You mean to tell me, first of all, he go to get a prostate exam, he gets his rocks off nuts and gets upset. He's so mad that the doctor aroused him to nutting that he comes back and shoots the doctor?
Damn right. Because he didn't want that. He probably didn't even want the prostate exam, let alone a happy ending.
Well, what I want to know is what I guess we'll never know since the doctor's dead. I'm assuming he's dead. Did he mean to get him off? Because they say you can tickle the prostate and it stimulates men like that. But
it tickles.
I want to know if the doctor did that intentionally or if it was just something that happened during his prostate exam and the dude just felt some sort of way about it.
Yeah.
So, know,
if he did that and he looked back and the doctor was like,
I mean, that's a problem. That's a problem.
That's a problem. But I unless these men is lying to me, because my wife is a physician, I've never heard a man who goes and gets his prostate checked, gets an erection, and then turns around and nuts.
Yeah, dude must have been in there for a minute tickling that bad boy. He must have been in there for a minute tickling because normally, like every time I've had to do it, my doctors seem like that's the last place they want to be. They're in there real quick. Yeah. Nope, don't feel anything. Nope, you're good. Cool. We're out of here. Thank you. They don't even look at me anymore. They're over there washing their hands. Anything else I need? No, I'm good. I'm out. I'm gonna send the nurse in, and they're out.
Well, J-Mo, did he go to jail? Did he at least go to jail?
Oh yeah, definitely gone to jail. You know that. Chris P say
he's from Florida, right?
Candy and flowers.
But he's from Florida, right? He's probably not even going. He's probably not getting convicted. He's probably going to go to Florida. He's probably going to go up there and get a jury trial. The jury's going to be like, I understand it. I understand where he's coming from.
Well,
and he's 56 years old. This picture illustrates where he got poked by the mine. Pokemon. That's where he got poked by the mine, right there in the picture on the screen.
Man. They should have changed the graphic though. The graphic shows him flaccid. They should.
Yeah. It shows him flaccid. It shows the balls shrunk. It don't show no leakage from the penis. I mean, there's a whole lot wrong with this picture.
That's a good question. Was it like a button? Was he like boop? Boing.
That's what I want to know.
What did you do to me?
That's what I'm asking you.
Nobody made me feel this way.
Oh my Lord. God, J-Mo, we got to get out of here, man. We ain't fooling with you no more today.
Hey, man, I appreciate y'all coming through. Gotta end it on a happy note for everybody.
And
we definitely gonna do this more often, and I'll be over there. I gotta figure out a way so that we can all be streaming on all platforms at the same time. I'm trying to think of dope. Yeah, where you'll be on yours, Lamont, I'll be on mine, but we'll all be talking simultaneously. Maybe we have to do it like this and then maybe throw in a Zoom on top of it and then maybe screen share the Zoom. I just
something like that. Yeah, I'm looking into some of these technologies as we speak so that we can do more of this and have all our channels going at the same time where people can tune in. So I'm trying to figure out ways to get around it. So y'all stick with us, man, and we'll keep you posted.
We'll figure it out. Before y'all go, my girl Whitney said that the prostate is key for erections. She's a nurse now. She is, the admin from my channel. So she is a nurse. She out there, one of our first responders. But
God bless
I don't know about this. I'm gonna have to take her word on her. I don't know.
Man, look, man, I've never in my life had my prostate stimulated, and I don't have no problem with erections, and nor do I have problem with the stuff that comes after the erection. and I've never had a prostate stimulation to this point.
Well, as J-Mo said, don't push the button.
Oh, I ain't. Like I said, I ain't pushing no buttons. As a matter of fact, I don't even hang around lock and keys no more because of Professor Carey. That's how I am.
Oh my God, that's funny, boy. Hey, he said he was about to get his prostate examined every night up in the pen. Hey,
man,
boy.
Man,
I got a real gun.
Boy.
The love gun.
Boy, see, well, J-Mo, we appreciate you letting us come through. Big ups to Jay Moore, to all his people down in the bottom. Y'all give that man a thumbs up. Keep supporting this channel, helping him grow. Me and Larry about to jump off and jump on my channel. If you guys enjoy seeing us, please feel free to subscribe to both of our channels. And J-Mo, we will be back in a couple of weeks, man. Break some more bread with you.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
No problem, man. Glad to have you. I was happy to be over there Wednesday. And, you know, we're going to just keep working and bringing more content for everybody and just going to keep getting better. So you all is sticking with us. Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy that ride. We probably going to definitely have to hook up at the very least for the Power season finale. We're going to have to do something special with that.
Yeah,
we might have to do a Yo channel, my channel, and Larry channel that whole week, once a week or something like that, something special.
By then, I'm going to have it figured out where we'll all be streaming at the same time on our own channels, but still talking and still bringing the same, you know, content.
That'll work.
Tressa C's in the building. What's up?
Hey, Tressa, we about to cross over to our channel because we got some felonious mess we about to talk about too. So, J-Mo, love you, my brother, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Man. It was good seeing you on the air. Remember to mask up and vote. Vote early and vote often. Not often, just vote. All right, man.
All right, take it easy, man. Thanks.
Take it easy.
Yep. All right, you all, I appreciate it. They was great. And I hope you all enjoyed the show. I did have a couple more things that I was going to talk about, but we were talking and the conversation was going so good. I didn't get to them. I could maybe break out one thing that I want to talk about, but it's probably going to take me about 20-30 minutes to fully explain it. I did want to break it down, but we ended on a happy note, and this is a little serious, so I don't want to break out the seriousness with y'all right now. We didn't end it on a happy note, so I'm going to leave it like that. But, you know, yeah, Chris P., everybody, y'all go ahead, check out Lamont and Larry. They streaming on his site right now. I'm going to go ahead and end it. That way you all go ahead. Chris, love you too. Appreciate all y'all support. Everybody that was watching on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook was streaming on all four at the same time. And I'm going to figure out a way where I'm going to stream everybody at the same time. So we going to make this work and bring more dope content. Now, if you all want to go and join Lamont and Larry and see what they talking about on their channel, feel free to do so. And I'll see y'all on the next episode. Maybe I'll talk about what I want to talk about today, Sunday. By the way, y'all like my new house? You know what I'm saying? I planted all these flowers. My mom taught me how to plant flowers, so I know how to plant flowers. I'm just playing, man. Don't pay me no attention. Anyway, I'm out of here, y'all. Peace, love, appreciate y'all. I'm on next on Sunday. So in 2 days, you only got to wait 2 days, and I'll be back. And who knows? Maybe we have another guest. Maybe I'll open it up. Y'all can join in, chop it up. We'll see. So with that, I'm out of here. And, you know, I'm just joking. I ain't got no money. I'm poor. This is a green screen, not my real house. I'm just joking. But anyway, it looked good, don't it? I'm learning how to use this computer stuff. Y'all thought it was real. Y'all thought I was watering them plants, did you? You thought I was watering them. I ain't watering no damn plants. Anyway, I'm out. Peace. Appreciate all the support. Thanks to Lamont and Larry stopping through. Y'all go and check out the description box. I'm going to put the links and all kind of other goodies in there. And I'll see y'all on the next episode. And I'm out.